earlier we were talking. You were saying, you don't really consider yourself a guitar player per se as much as a songwriter.
Yeah.
Was there something that got you What first got you playing guitar when you were
I think
growing up?
necessity. I in Fairport I didn't play anything. I just sang. But when I left Fairport, my plan was to front my own band, and I was never really comfortable in Fairport just being a stand-up lead vocalist. So in a way, learning to play the guitar in the beginning was a crutch for me, so that I had something solid to do with my hands while I was singing. But the more I got into it, the more I realized what a valuable songwriting tool the guitar was. Prior to that, I just wrote lyrics, and Richard Thompson wrote the music for me. And the further you go with a guitar, the more enamored you become with it. The sound of a guitar, acoustic guitar, I just think is so beautiful, and it's nice to be able to, just kind of make those sounds. And
what Eve proposed to Adam was a cunning little plan. It defined the evolution between a woman and a man. When they bit into that apple, that was where it all began. In paradise, in paradise, yeah, in paradise. But you and I know better. We can read between the lines. We understand dynamics and those clever little signs, and just how subtly the boundaries shifted over time. In paradise, in paradise, yeah. In paradise, in paradise. It's just a tale told by fools, celebrating nothing new, and life will be a burden or a blessing. When all our bridges have been crossed, we've scaled the heights, mourn the losses. Will we ever undertake the lesson? 'Cause when things get complicated, we all lean on what we trust. Memorize statistics and just minimize the fuss. We employ a modern logic, magically adjust to paradise, to paradise. Paradise, oh. It's just a tale told by fools, celebrating nothing new, and life will be a burden or a blessing. When all our bridges have been crossed, we've scaled the heights, mourn the losses. Will we ever undertake the lesson? 'Cause when things get complicated, we all lean on what we trust. Memorize statistics and just minimize the fuss. Then we employ a modern logic and magically adjust to paradise, to paradise, yeah, to paradise. What Eve proposed to Adam was a cunning little plan.
This guitar, this Martin that you got, you said you just bought it. It's a brand new.
I got it in January, yeah.
And it's a 0028
EC.
EC.
Yeah.
So that Eric Clapton model. Tell me about, how did you decide on this particular guitar?
A friend of mine in the Netherlands had one, and I went to visit, and it was sitting in a stand in his house, and I picked it up and started playing it. And up to that point, I'd been playing an OM, an OM 28V, I think it was called. And I still have the OM, and I love that guitar too. It's just a different feel. It has that slight V in the neck.
Sure.
You know the guitar?
Yep.
Yeah. And this one felt more like my older Martins, and I just think they're making such beautiful sounding instruments these days. And the moment I played my friend's guitar, I just had to have one.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier about when you're performing live, you're clipping on a mic into the sound hole.
Yeah.
What kind of mic are you using?
It's a crown mic. I'm not sure what the letters are. I think it's a 100. They used to make the 100. Now it is no longer, and they do a 200. I forget what the letters are, but it's just a little crown. It's actually a lapel mic. But it came with that clip, so I put it on my guitar and to see what the sound would be like. And I don't use monitors either, so I'm able to do that on stage and not get feedback.
Not feedback, right.
Yeah, I think if I used monitors, I'd be in big trouble.
Right. And do you travel with a sound man, or do you?
I don't
rely on the venue.
I'm at the mercy of the venues. Yeah.
And is that sometimes a problem, with amplification?
I would say, I think these days a lot of the majority of sound men understand what an acoustic guitar should sound like.
Right.
I'd say 9 times out of 10 it's okay. And the other 2%, you have to coach them a little bit into what it should sound like. And I can usually tell because I don't use monitors. I gauge what I'm doing from the house sound, so I can usually tell if the balance is right, if there's enough low end in the acoustic, that kind of stuff.